Sorry, my leg hurts. I don't, my leg, no, like, hold on. Ow! Hey you guys, welcome to another video. We finally are getting an upload on this channel. You know I like my lives, so anyway, I wanted to do this video. Not really, I don't want to do this video because I know that you're going to have questions that I don't have answers to. And I've asked God all the questions. I've asked God for the answers. There's nothing. I'm not going to get anything. So don't ask me because I don't know. I'm just here to share because he wants me to share. Jehovah asked me to share. So let me start off by saying, no, I'm not making this video for attention. Please. I don't really care about attention. No, I'm not lying for attention. I'm not here to tell you a lie. I'm a God-fearing person, and I know. If you watch any of my other videos, you know how I feel about God, okay? And I know that God hates liars. So I'm not risking my soul or any type of judgment or karma on me to lie for any type of riches, fame, or any whatever. I don't care. You can keep it, okay? Because I know what's important, right? So this is not a lie for attention. This is just something that has happened to me. I'm shocked by it. I don't have a full explanation and answer, so I'm just putting it out to the world because Jehovah told me to. Okay. So let's talk about my extremely long pregnancy because this is what this is about. Now, if you don't know, for the past 3 children, I have allowed God to tell me when to get pregnant. And we typically ask for a gender. With my son 8 years ago, he's 8 now. Jehovah told us we should have a baby, me and my ex, and we're no longer together, but he's the father of all of my children, right? So far. So he told me that it's time for us to have another baby, and the only request that my ex had was that it's a boy. That's the only request because we had all girls. So the only request was a baby boy, and God agreed. And 9 months later, we gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, right? He's now 8. When he was 6 months old, God told me again that I should have a baby. I had a dream, right? This time it was a dream. And in the dream, I had all this baby stuff. And I said, why at 6 months? This was, my son was 6 months old. I said, why would I have another baby? I already have a baby. He's only 6 months old. There's no way I should have another baby. But that persisted. God was serious about it. You need to have another baby. So we 5 years later, we conceived said baby, knowing that God wanted us to have this baby, the father and I. And then we had a surprise little girl. So once she was born, I was told again that I'm to get pregnant. And I was like, oh, I was just upset. I actually cried with this one because I just felt exhausted. I was just like, oh, yeah, I don't want to just sit here and have babies all the time. That's what I told him. I was against it. And I did cry for at least 24 hours. I mean, there was breaks in between where I was just like, but I did cry for about 24 hours. So that happened. He told me I was to get pregnant. It was in a dream, another prophetic dream. And then I remember in another dream that he showed me about what's happened to me now, about the betrayal and the backstabbing and the black magic and all the stuff that was going to take place in my life. In that dream that he showed me, he was talking about the betrayal. In that dream, I saw myself pregnant. Then I said, well, that's a tiny little belly to be pregnant with twins. Because if you didn't know, okay, let me go back because I forgot to tell you that when God said we were to having more babies, both my ex and I together, we said out loud to God that we were looking for twins. Okay, we would like to have twins. And we said the gender. God agreed. Okay, he agreed for that. He always agrees. As long as you're going to bring that soul forth on earth, because he wants these souls on earth, then he agrees. Sometimes he will surprise us, a little baby girl, but most of the times you can ask for the gender. I'm not sure if that's all. I'm not sure if it's an all the time thing. That's what I was trying to get out. So when he showed me the vision, the prophetic vision of the betrayal that is currently happening now, that happened, and we're currently still dealing with that, I was pregnant. And I said, that's a tiny little belly to be pregnant with twins. And so it was. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm pregnant now. I will give birth in 9 months, because that's typically what I did. I gave birth every pregnancy. I gave birth 9 months, except for my daughter, who she was 8 months. And then my son, he was 10 months. He was late. He was like super late. So I thought to myself, I'm going to give birth around 9 months. I thought the spectacular thing was it's twins. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's twins. And when the date and time came around, my date and time, I'm not gonna say Jehovah's, because he's not giving me no date. He never gave me a due date. So when my date and time came around, I was like, I didn't give birth. I was like, well, maybe I'm gonna be a little late. That's not uncommon, you know. Women, we're late. When that time passed, another month went by, another month went by, another month went by, and I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. How am I still pregnant right now? This doesn't make any sense. I started going to prayer. I started whining out to God. I started crying out to God. I was just really upset by the situation. It's a very sensitive topic for me even now. Just speaking on it stresses me out. It saddens me. It makes me stressed, right? Not to where I'm like worried for the babies. No, I'm not concerned for them, because I feel them in there, kicking and moving and stretching. They seem to be just fine in there. So what stressed me out is like, I'm still pregnant. Sometimes my back hurts. Sometimes my ankles swell. If I work out too much, I can't really do too much anymore, because I have something called what God told me, a subcranial hematoma, and that thing bleeds if I try to exercise too much. And I like exercising, so I like working out. It makes me happy. So I do modified workouts. I try to stay pretty active with my muscles. Try to keep my muscles tight and in shape. That's just who I am. I like it. So I really don't have an explanation for this one. So as I'm going through this pregnancy and I'm thinking, man, you know, God, when you are a vessel for God, He's going to use you in the most fantastical ways. And I do believe that this is a miracle pregnancy that He wants to be put in history. And I make a joke, and I'm like, well, I remember there's a Bible story out there somewhere, because I don't read the Bible because God doesn't want me to. There's a Bible story of when John the Baptist was about to be conceived, and his father was muted, right? Y'all know the story. If you know the story, you know the story. Because he didn't believe that his wife was going to give birth. The angel Gabriel appeared and gave him the fantastical news. And then I know there's another child that was born to an older couple. I can't remember their names, but I think his name is Isaiah. Don't quote me on this. I don't read the Bible. But she was like 100 years old, and she didn't believe that she was going to be a parent, like mom. Like, no, I'm old. And God was like, okay. And then, of course, the legend, Mary, the Virgin Mary. She's another, you know, amazing. She gave birth to the King. Okay, let's be clear. And she's got the same visit from the angel. And I make the joke, and I'm saying, I didn't get a angel visit. I don't even know why I'm still pregnant. So this pregnancy, it's ongoing. By my calculations, I was supposed to give birth end of March 2024. Yeah. Beginning of April 2024. Right? April came, March came and went. April came and went. I was like, May, June, yeah. It's been some time, right? If I would have been 9 months in April, May, put that 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 months by my calculations. But I've actually stopped counting months, because when it comes to a God pregnancy, what I'm going to call a miracle pregnancy, because you just don't be pregnant this long. Nobody in this world I've never seen pregnant this long. So I'm going to call it a miracle pregnancy. When it comes to a God pregnancy like this, you have no say-so. You are His vessel, and you are doing what He tells you to. I don't go to the doctors, and I will not seek intervention. I will not, because that's not what he told me to do. He told me to be at home. I'm going to it's going to be a home birth, and he told me that he's going to handle his pregnancy. I remember when I first found out I was pregnant, my son had dropped his blanket, and I went to pick it up, and I had this pull in my stomach. I was like, oh my gosh, that only happens to me when I'm pregnant, right? And then that night I had a dream, and God said, I saw the numbers 333. And God handed me this giant gift. His hand came down and handed me this giant gift. It was so heavy I couldn't carry it, so I dropped it. It was a gift bag, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful gift bag. And I heard him say these words, they will be fine. And I think that was him telling me, look, I know you're going to be worried about them, but they're going to be fine. This is something he's doing. It's not my doing. Because if it was up to me, I would have gave birth a long time ago. Number one, I want to hold my babies. Okay. Number two, I'm tired of being pregnant. But this is where I am. I don't have the answers you're looking for. The only thing you can do is stick with me through the journey. And eventually I'm going to give birth whenever he's ready for me to give birth. Not when you're ready for me to give birth. Not when I'm ready to give birth. When he's ready for me to give birth. This is his. And he's making it known. I had a dream. This is why this video came to be. I had a dream, and in the dream there was a girl, and she was pushing a little stroller. She had a baby in it, and then she had this tiny little bump. And in the dream she said, no, she was like, no word on baby yet, maybe next month. And she was like, whoop, whoop. It was like, maybe next month. And she was so proud of it. And in the dream I said out loud, I was like, dang, I feel sorry for her, but at least I'm not alone. So I'm not sure if I'm the first, because I've been the first for a lot of things for Jehovah. I'm the first chosen to be woken up, so like fully awake. And it's not like, oh, I'm just a chosen. No, I'm actively working on the earth for God, and you'll all see it eventually. It's all coming out. So I'm a lot of firsts for Jehovah, right? So I'm the first to be woken up. I'm the first with this pregnancy. I'm the first to be out in the wilderness. He put me out there in the wilderness. I'm the first. And I'm just the first. So that means there's going to be others to follow. So this is what this video is for. If you are going through this now, if you have a God pregnancy, you don't allow anybody to touch your body but God. If you're going through this now, I'm here with you. You're not alone. Because I feel like that dream was telling me that there's others out there, and that, or there's going to be others out there. You're not alone. This is a very strange and odd pregnancy for the earth, because we allow man to tell us we only have 9 months to give birth. But I'm allowing God to tell me when to give birth. So again, I want to say this: do not think I'm just sitting here to gather attention and become famous and be lying for attention. I'd rather not. I'd rather not. I'd rather just give birth but this is what God wants for me, and this is what I'm going to do. Eventually they're gonna come out twins. I do know the genders, and God did give me their names. So he's fully active in this pregnancy. He told me when to go off. I remember when I was out there, he told me when to go off and get pregnant. He told me that I was going to get pregnant. He told me when it was time to get pregnant. And when I got pregnant, when it was time for me to get pregnant, I had 2 miscarriages back to back, 2, in order to get pregnant with this pregnancy. And then once it stuck, he was like, no doctors, home birth. This is complete God pregnancy. You don't have anything to do with it. You are a vessel. I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel for God's people. That's what I am. I'm their mom, and I'm the vessel for God's people. For God's souls that are coming onto the earth. That is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you want to follow on the journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.